You know that feeling when you scroll through endless listings of gaming rigs that look like they belong in a sci-fi movie, only to get a box that barely powers through a single game? I've been there, spending time reading spec sheets, watching unboxing videos, and still worrying whether the machine will actually run the titles I love at 1080p, let alone 4K. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In today's review, I'm going to walk through the WIWB gaming PC desktop, point out where it shines, where it falls short, and help you decide if it's worth the plug-and-play price tag. First off, the category itself is a minefield. Pre-built gaming PCs promise instant performance without the hassle of picking a motherboard, a power supply, and wrestling with cable management. That convenience is the main draw for people who don't want to spend weekends building a machine, but it also means you're trusting a manufacturer's component choices. Most buyers worry about three things: raw performance for current games, how well the system handles streaming or multitasking, and whether they'll have room to upgrade later. The WIWB rig tries to answer all three with a Ryzen 7 5700X CPU, an RTX 5060 GPU, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, and a 1TB NVMe SSD, all tucked inside a white tower with tempered glass. Let's start with everyday use. I set this machine up in a modest home office next to my dual-monitor workstation. The first thing I noticed was how quickly it booted thanks to that NVMe drive. Windows loaded in under a minute and my Steam library was instantly searchable. Launching a recent title like Valorant gave me stable 1080p frame rates around 120 frames per second, and stepping up to Cyberpunk 2077 on medium settings still hovered near 60 frames per second. That's exactly what the Ryzen 7 and RTX 5060 combo promises: enough horsepower for most current AAA games without needing to crank the graphics settings to max. If you're a casual or mid-core gamer who wants smooth gameplay without constant tweaking, the performance here feels reliable. Now, many of you also stream while you play. The WIWB desktop includes 16GB of RAM, which is sufficient for a single stream at 1080p with a decent encoder setting. I tried running OBS while gaming, and the system held the line: no stutter, no dropped frames. It's worth noting, though, that if you plan to stream at 4K or run multiple heavy background apps, you might feel the RAM pinch sooner rather than later. Upgrading to 32GB isn't a nightmare thanks to the accessible DIMM slots, but it does involve opening the case and buying compatible sticks, something a pure plug-and-play buyer might want to consider upfront. The aesthetics are a different kind of selling point. The tower is painted white, with 3 side panel fans that glow with customizable RGB. The case's tempered glass shows off the internals, and the lighting can be synced to games that support it. For streamers who want a visually appealing backdrop or for anyone who likes a desk that looks like a piece of art, the design works. On the flip side, the white finish can be a bit unforgiving with dust, and the RGB fans, while nice, do add a small amount of extra noise under load. In my testing, the fans were audible but not disruptive, unless you're in a very quiet room recording voiceovers. Connectivity is often an afterthought, but it matters for a gaming and streaming setup. This machine offers 3 DisplayPort outputs and 1 HDMI port, so you can hook up a triple monitor rig without needing a splitter. Wi-Fi 6 is built in, which means faster, more reliable wireless performance if you can't run an Ethernet cable. I ran a speed test on my 2.4 GHz network and saw a noticeable bump over older Wi-Fi standards, though of course a wired connection still trumps wireless for competitive gaming. The downside? There's only a handful of USB-A ports on the front, so you might need a hub for a full suite of peripherals. One of the biggest hidden trade-offs with pre-built systems is upgrade flexibility. The WIWB desktop is upgrade-friendly in the sense that the case isn't locked down, and there's space for a larger GPU or an extra SSD. However, the power supply isn't advertised, and many pre-built rigs use just enough wattage for the stock components. If you're thinking about swapping the RTX 5060 for something like an RTX 4070 down the line, you'll have to verify that the PSU can handle the extra draw. The same goes for the cooling solution. The 3 fans are fine for the stock GPU, but a higher-end card could push temperatures higher, which might require additional fans or a better CPU cooler. So who should actually buy this? If you're a gamer who wants solid 1080p performance right out of the box, plans to stream occasionally, and appreciates a sleek white aesthetic, this is a strong candidate. It's especially appealing for people who aren't comfortable building their own PC or who need a machine quickly for a new job, school project, or a move into a smaller apartment where space and noise matter. The price point sits in the